Black in the building, man. What is going on? We made it back. Another week. You already know what I'm going to say. Did Jesus come back? God damn. You've been nice to people just because you thought he was coming back today or tomorrow. Oh, let me get to church on time so I can sing in the choir. So I got to do what I got to do because I got to get to heaven. Shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation. You know I'm going to send my shout out, Shawnee. Philly in the building, stand up. Black and Noble. Erica, Florida in the building, stand up. Tasha Mariah, James Youngblood, Bodiless Passenger. You already know what the fuck is going on. Man, we are here. We are back another Sunday, another fun day. I got a great topic, man. I've been wanting to talk about this. I've been watching it. And I can't wait, man. We're going to talk about the destruction of black athletes. You know what I mean? We're going to watch it. We're going to talk about that. Because I noticed a motherfucker can't do one thing wrong. It's just like the Court Plantation. Once one nigga start bucking up against the system, they start punishing everybody. So we're going to get into this. We're going to also talk a little bit about what they doing to Michael Irvin. Same situation. And how motherfuckers have to understand how to play this game correctly. Let's get into it. Me, I'll be like, call me if you wanna come through tonight. Text me if you wanna come through tonight. IG if you wanna come through tonight. I make you feel good, bitch, real good. Oh yeah, I do a little singing. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm fucking with y'all. But anyway, man, I ain't singing in a long time, shit. But anyway, man. Dave for No Compromise, man. Shout out to that brother as well. I'm really proud of this brother, man. Go buy his paintings too and stop being cheap. God damn. I bought some. My sister bought some. My cousin bought some. Now, what, nigga? I bet you when a nigga paint starts selling for $300,000 and $400,000, then niggas gonna be like, oh, see, this nigga done changed. You know what I mean? Fuck that. I bet you when white people start buying it, then all of a sudden they gonna have some shit to talk. Y'all niggas get on my nerves with that shit. Man. Support, man, why a nigga is local, why you can support, because once people with their businesses, they transition to where it's a bigger audience that they're in front of and they can make more money, they ain't not gonna have time to be catering to no niggas and they little prices. They're gonna have to go with the demand. I'm ready for it, I understand it, but a lot of niggas don't, and a lot of niggas don't want people to grow. So that's why I'm talking about this today. The reason why I say a lot of people don't want black folk to grow, because look at the public lynching that they're doing socially. Now they doing it to Ja Morant. Okay, Ja Morant, man, they act like Ja Morant robbed a bank or something. They act like Ja Morant. It's like, god damn. I mean, and they can't do nothing, but you already know that. And I feel like they are punishing a lot of black athletes after, it's called buck breaking, after what Kyrie Irving did and stood up against, you know, the dominant society and stood on his belief system. I think they wanted to make an example out of any other black athlete that comes out, especially foundational black American, that comes out and does his own thing. They gonna punish you for whatever goes down. Shout out to Kyrie Irving too. He was wearing a previous NBA player, I forgot his name, but he had his shoes on. He has his own shoe brand, and Kyrie Irving was wearing that too, because, you know, I guess Nike don't want to fuck with him or whatever. Fuck Nike. Look, if there was no Michael Jordan, there would be no fucking Nike. I'm going to say it again. If there was no Michael Jordan, wouldn't be no Nike. Niggas wouldn't be buying Nike. Niggas wouldn't know what to do. You got to give niggas a narrative. Jordan gave Nike that narrative. Nike's going to always be the all-time selling shoe because of Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan probably owns a 0.22%, interest of his stock. He don't own Nike. You would think that guy that owns Nike would be like, well, let me give you 30% of it, because that's fucked up, man. You single-handedly sold my shoe. You know what I mean? They got a movie coming out about that too, but I just feel in this day and age, I can relate to these brothers because it's the Court Plantation all over again. It's buck breaking. If you got one black person that go into Court Plantation and be like, nah, I'm not putting up with that, I don't believe in that, they are going to come after every black employee. that they can think of. And then the other black employees take heed. So they start buck dancing and cooning and sandballing. Sometimes it's just good. A lot of the times, even when you stand on your beliefs, you have to be prepared for the backlash. And this is the backlash. Now they're going overboard. Now they questioning Ja Morant's father's parenting. It's like they was praising him at first when he made it to the NBA, and now all of a sudden he do one thing wrong. Now it's like, oh yeah, your parents is fucked up. It's like, damn. That's why you got to give LeVar Ball props. Because for the most part, the Ball brothers, they kind of, with the incident in China, but other than that, they kind of just stay out the way and don't, you know what I mean? You don't really hear a lot of the bullshit. And I think that's because, they just cut probably a little differently. And they're, of course, they're not major superstars like Ja Morant. So that's a big difference. What I think Ja Morant did was nothing. It was minute. They're just aggrandizing the situation and making it worse than what the fuck it is because he's a black athlete. And that's why we have to look at it, because this is the destruction. Look, let me give you my partake on the NBA. Let's just be frank. James Youngblood, you tell me what you think. I can't wait till you respond. Tasha, all y'all tell me. I think that they want it to be the European League. They don't really too much care about black athletes. I think it's come to this point where they don't even want to pay black athletes what they're worth because they don't really want them in the league. If they could, they would replace black athletes with European players. But European players are not that talented. They may have NBA structure, but they're not talented athletically speaking. See, they can't do the shit that Ja Morant does or Kyrie Irving does. So it's like, damn, we kind of need these niggas. But they really don't want to be bothered with no niggas. Just look at the way the format of the NBA is. And you can say, I had this discussion all the time, and people can say, oh, well, they got to come to practice. Look, man, it's just like going to work. If you're really good at your job, you got to look at it from your perspective. If you're really, really super good at your job, like you know it front, back, side to side, you be giving it up to the day you die type bullshit, and you know it so fucking well that when you're not around, other people got to pick up the slack because it's a lot of work to be done. No, you're not going to want to come to work every day. And no, there's going to be some days where you ain't going to want to be fucking bothered. You're a human being. So it doesn't trip off me that they do this load management and all this other shit, because at the end of the spectrum, it's a job. And I think people misconstrue it, and I think they take out of context what it's a job. It's a high-paying job, and I think we don't look at it as a job. We look at it as just entertainment. Yeah, from our perspective, it is entertainment, but for them, it's a fucking job. So when you see Paul George and them taking it light, I don't get mad. I be like, get your paper. Get all the paper you can from these motherfuckers. Because while they paying you $250 million, they're making $850 million off of you. So it's like, I feel like that's why they are going after the top-notch black athletes if they even say the wrong thing. Or look, like I said, LeBron James is a company man, so they're not going to technically go after him. He's a business company man. He does business kind of like Jay-Z. He just wants to get in there, do his job, make white people feel comfortable, get his bag, and go and brag about it. Everybody's not cut from that cloth. Some people are like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. And some people are like, I do that shit to get paid. Everybody's principles and beliefs are different. But what I'm saying is, when you are on the corporate plantation and you have to abide by those rules, don't get mad when the rules come back to bite you. This is the deal that you signed. This is what is going on. And I think a lot of the times we view these athletes as our personal entertainment. You know what I mean? And that's not so. And every athlete's mentality is different. But off the court, they're going to dig into your social matters because it's affecting their brand. But not only that, they're going to publicly go after you to let everybody else know, see, we're disciplining these people. This is all a part of the game. But yet we still have Brett Favre out here stealing millions of dollars from the state of Mississippi, and ain't nobody said shit to that white motherfucker. And he was an arrogant white boy when he played in the NFL. I remember it was a wide receiver that was like negotiating his contract. He was black and he was like, dude, let's just play. Like, who cares? Well, nigga, you saying that because they gonna pay you. Nigga, they not paying me what they paying you. And nigga, you not out here getting it like me. And that's how a lot of dominant society people are. They feel like you should just be grateful that somebody's even recognizing you. That's why, what was the brother that played and he thought Tom Brady was his friend? Was it AB? I forgot his name. He played for the Steelers, and I forgot the brother's name. I'm blanking right now. That motherfucker, once he knew that they was trying to tear up his motherfucking body, he took his shit off and walked off the field. Was like, oh, well, fuck Tom Brady. Well, nigga, Tom Brady was never your friend in the first place. Why y'all think, nigga, y'all work together? That doesn't mean that y'all have this tight friendship. Man, some people just want you around because they want the job to be easier for them. They don't want you around because they really fuck with you. You know what I mean? So it's like I just feel like we got to start having that value. I say it every week. Every time I do, we got to start having value in who we are. Because we don't have value. We give value to the Grammys. But really, the Grammys need us, because if it was just all white people in the Grammys, nobody would watch that shit because they don't care. Why do you think they don't want us? Look, why do you think they keep chopping up the genres, and why do you think they keep promoting dominant society people to be in R&B? Like Stephanie Mills said, like, that's done by design. I was listening. I started going back and listening to the 90s R&B. I'm like, man, these dominant society people would not be able to fucking survive in the 90s. Excuse me. And I was watching this thing. I got love for Joe Budden podcast, and I watch it every now and then. But that shit you was talking about, Jordan, was some straight bullshit, nigga. Niggas forgot about Larry Johnson, Grandmama, Alonzo Mourning, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, niggas that were really square with you and really fight with no fucking problem. These was big niggas. Everybody act like everybody in the 90s was just little bitty niggas. Charles Barkley, stop, nigga. Jordan wasn't playing no teams, and LeBron, man, stop. LeBron went to 4 different teams to get championships. Jordan didn't run nowhere and go get no championship. Jordan stayed right where he was. I just had to correct that, because I think that niggas just want to critique Jordan because he was the best that ever done it, and he left it all on the court. Now, his personal views, a lot of people might not agree with Michael Jordan, but the one thing about him is he wasn't going to talk to the media about how he felt about the team. That nigga was going to get in your face and tell you. That's the type of motherfucker I'd rather work with. I'd rather work with somebody. You have to understand, this is a job. You want to work with somebody that's going to be like, hey, my nigga Warren G, bro, we kind of need you to step it up right now. But see, the thing with black folk is we get to cooning and buck dancing, and see, once there's a white audience around, we want to buck our eyes and show them we're the best worker. And they be laughing at that shit because they know we work hard, but they think it's like entertainment to them. They get popcorn and be like, let's see how far this nigger goes to prove to us that he's a good worker. They do that type of shit. I've been in those settings and I've seen how they act around you. They don't reward you. They treat you like shit, and they want to clone you. I remember I worked at a corporate plantation, and this was a long time ago. I was working with my nigga Donnie. Shout out to my nigga Donnie. Yeah. Motherfucker told me and Donnie remember this shit. Motherfucker told me and Donnie, how can I get more of you guys? Basically, more slave niggas. And at the time, me and Donnie wasn't tripping because we was trying to get bread. But if you break it down and keep it in context, no, you just want more slave niggas. Just shut up and fucking do your job, and who gives a fuck? As long as I ain't got to be out there doing it. If you start knowing the history of who you are and what you have done for this United States of America Incorporated, you would not be trying to be the first motherfucker to be at work and the last motherfucker to leave. You'd be the last motherfucker to arrive and the first motherfucker that wanted to get the fuck up out of there. You know what I mean? And I think this destruction is done by design, because in my personal belief, I watch basketball a lot. I may not know as much as others, but they're turning it into a European league. They don't really want that 90s. They don't want that Michael Jordan era and that Kobe era. They don't really want that era anymore, because when you think of the Kobe's and the Jordans, they separated themselves from a lot of other athletes and teams, and they don't really want that. But then when you notice they try to push out them white athletes, it always backfires on them. Kevin Love backfired. What was that motherfucker that played for Gordon Hayward? Backfired. Need I go on? The last time they were true dominant society athletes that grindhouse and played the game of basketball and was a hooper was the 90s era to me. The 90s era. You had the Larry Birds, the Deadlift Shrimps. You had real motherfuckers that was going to just play their game and get the fuck on. Motherfuckers may not like John Stockton, but John Stockton was cold. You know what I mean? And his sidekick, Not Karl Malone, but the two guard. Excuse me. But I'm just saying, man, this is what happens at the corporate plantation. You will look up and you guys will be the majority at a job. All it takes is two niggas to act a fool, and then you guys will be the minority. I've experienced that. It was very heartbreaking to me. I did. I went kind of through a depression because I was like, damn. Now I was back to working around a whole bunch of motherfuckers that have no idea what you got going on. And they don't care. That's why I remember motherfuckers was coming to me when Philando Castile got shot. And I said, this happens all the time. Why are y'all acting like this is new? This is new to you. This isn't new to me. This been going on. I got plenty of books that talk about it. Them motherfuckers don't want to hear that shit. That's why when you get on these corporate plantations, when you see the businessman or the corporate man, just stay the fuck away from them. That's why a lot of people don't want to play with LeBron in the context of not on the court, but off the court. A lot of people don't want to deal with that shit, and I understand it. What are we going to do to replace this system of injustice and replace it with a justice system? I think first we got to start recycling black dollars like Kyrie Irving is doing. He's wearing, I think it's Langston Holloway. That's the basketball player's shoes that he's wearing. This brother has his own basketball shoe. It look just like Jordan's. It just ain't got the Jordan emblem on it. They look tight. And Kyrie Irving was wearing them. And he played in the NBA as well. And I think I give Kyrie Irving props just for wearing the shoe. He don't have to wear the brother's shoe. I think Kyrie Irving is very smart. Some people disagree. He shouldn't say shit. And I get it. You know, just from the standpoint of you want to go to professionals like the Nation of Islam, the Hebrew Israelites, people that have that knowledge, the 5% nation. You know, you want to go to those people, but there's certain times where you like, I feel like I got enough information where I can stand my ground and I don't have to be out here buck dancing. And I like Kyrie Irving. I just don't think he's going to play a long time. Not because he's going to be hurt. I just think he's kind of over NBA and he kind of just want to do his own thing. And a lot of people are like that. And I think Ja Morant is young and I think he wants to hoop, but I think he wants to kind of live his life and not be under a microscope about little things maybe he do. But for them to have an investigation, to get the police out and all that, just because he brandished a firearm, it's like, man, stop. I wonder if he would have been brandishing a firearm at a shooting range. You know, what if that firearm was legal? We don't know. We don't know none of this man's business, but damn, motherfuckers want to question his dad. And you got, you know, Stephen A. Smith. He said some things that I agree with because at the end of the day, this is not, you don't own the NBA. The NBA owns you. So you have to do what the fuck they tell you to do. And I think we have to start looking at that too, because a lot of kids, they aspire to want to go to the NBA. They want to go to college and they want to do all this other shit. But you have to start teaching these young kids now, like, look, you're going to have to be a smiley person. You're going to have to be the person that deal with people that you don't necessarily want to deal with all the time. You cannot be in the NBA and not smile with people to get a nice piece of change. So, you know, that's what it is. I just think we have to do more education and we have to stop playing politics with our loved ones and with people that's up under us and start explaining them the rules of engagement. This is the reason why I say that. Because when you do, the reason why I say that is because as me growing up, and you don't have trades and stuff like that, in this United States of America Incorporated, what they're trying to do is weed out motherfuckers that can't maintain on a corporate plantation and don't have a plan to work for themselves. Basically, you just gonna be the bum niggas, and then the niggas that got the corporate jobs, okay, you'll be the lower middle class people, and then the niggas that work for themselves, they'll have the money, but it's gonna be a very selective few because to work for yourself, you have to work 10 times harder than you would at a corporate plantation. See, this is all gonna come back full circle when people start understanding, like, oh, okay, that's what I mean. That's why it's very important for our parents. You gotta start educating your children. If you own a house and you are not telling your nieces, your nephews, your kids about how to buy, own, maintain property, shame on you. You're putting people at a disadvantage when they go out and try to navigate through this so-called life in the United States of America Incorporated. This system is not built for people like us. So when you at these churches, you at these people, you with these pastors, and you getting counsel, for your marriage with the pastor, you say, all right, hold on, pastor. I know me and this bitch ain't working out too well, but hold on. What advice did you got to tell us about getting some bread, man? You better start picking these pastors' brains. These pastors are intelligent, and they got jobs and trades and real estate. You need to start doing that. Because, man, let me tell you, it is very disheartening when you get into this world and you're like, well, damn, how do I buy a house? Okay, well, I don't know how to buy a house. So let me go ask somebody. And then you better hope that the advice that they're giving you is 100 solid advice. Then you have to execute and stay consistent. But these are things that we need to be teaching our youth. We shouldn't be sending these kids off to some school and expecting them to teach our kids about property ownership, stocks, bonds, 401k, IRAs. That stuff, life insurance policies. How many motherfuckers you know got a life insurance policy? How many people you know? I was watching Lavelle Crawford last night. He had I was watching his special on Showtime. I don't know if it's new or old, but he was saying that shit. He's like, man, motherfuckers do everything but what they supposed to do. People buy what they want and beg for what they need. No. And we don't want to see each other win. These are all rules. And while we don't want to see each other win, they are destroying our black athletes. Destroying them. So what are you going to do personally? What are we doing? Like, well, Warren, what are you doing, man? I supported so many black businesses, man. I spend a lot of money. I spend money I don't have sometimes to support black businesses because that's just the energy I want back. And I try to keep my circle tight. I don't have a lot of motherfuckers around me. Matter of fact, I don't have nobody really around me. I'm talking about as far as friends are, because everybody's lane is different and I don't really have time to, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people want to kick it and hang out. I'm too old for that shit. I got to grind, man. I'm tired. You working at a lot of people that don't work at these corporate plantations as long as some of us do, they want to be out there and playing and kicking it. Well, I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? I don't have generational wealth. I don't come from a generational wealth family. I don't have none of that. So I got to get up and go to work. So I don't have time for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's, do what you can. Me, I try to support black businesses, buy black books about black folk. I try to read them and take my time as much as I can. I supported the black business, in December? You know what I mean? And shit, that shit was not cheap. Excuse me. Where I got when the last, post I posted on IG, that black dog, that's from a black business. And wasn't no backyard boogie motherfucker either. That little Robert I got, that motherfucker cost some paper. But it was a black business. So I did what I needed to do. You recycle the black dollars. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker don't support me. I don't do that for a person to support me. I support me. And that's how you're supposed to do it, by having intrinsic value. This is stuff that me and David, James Youngblood, we talk about this shit all the time. When me and David used to do, the shit on Twitter, you know what I mean? Like, we always talked about that. You know what I mean? And that's near and dear to my heart. Look, I went way over my time because I feel like this is a message that is well deserved and people need to hear it. Look at what they doing. First you had Kyrie. They publicly humiliate him for posting a goddamn video, right? Shaq had it planned in his theater. They ain't say shit to him. Then you had the nerve to call this nigga an idiot. And then John Morant, okay, he brandished a gun. Okay, cool. Did he pull it out on somebody or he just do it on IG? But because you're a black athlete, you're public enemy number one. I'm going to leave off with this. If you've read The Burglary, J. Edgar Hoover's Secret FBI, I read that about 5-6 years ago. That's the best book ever. The man single-handedly orchestrated the assassination of Fred Hampton, and he's the one behind COINTELPRO. He orchestrated the assassination of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. He disrupted and sowed so much discord within the Black Panther Party. This is what they do for a living. They named a building after this motherfucker. But y'all want to sit up here and publicly destroy each other? Man, I rest my case. Let me know what y'all think about that. You already know what it is, you know what it ain't. Your boy 1G, been Clown Sucker Free since 2003. In the great words of what I always say, guilty nigga, I'm out. Peace.